welcome to the Killtocraft Podcast, episode 28. Hiya! I'm Vanessa. It's glad to meet you. This is Friday, the 2nd of September, so happy autumn everyone! My favourite season, and I know some of yours, you will agree, is also the favourite season of the year. Full of knitwear and eating sweets, bonfire night, eating pie, watching fireworks, Halloween, eating more sweets, watching horror movies and going to parties, and it's just joyous. And the up and coming anticipation of Christmas, it's just the best season. And also a little bit of summer weather at the beginning, which isn't too bad. So welcome. You can find me on Instagram as Nessa Townley, and you can find me also on Ravelry as Killtocraft. You can find all show notes on the Killtocraft Podcast Group on Ravelry, and you can sometimes find them on my blog, which is www.killtocraft.wordpress.com. And today I have some thank yous to say hello to a few people. One of them is Barbara of Knitting I Love podcast. Hi Barbara. She's a sweetheart, and she recently added me into her Into the Jar segment, which is a segment where I think each month she has some new candidates which can be nominated by you and Barbara herself into a jar, and each month she also withdraws basically a giveaway prize she draws out a podcaster, and they get a selection of goodies which are from Barbara herself and her shop, which I will add into the show notes. You can check them out. She sells wonderful like holders, DPN holders, circular holders, coasters, stitch markers, tab that holds all the stitch markers on. They're really sweet. You should go and have a look. When she draws out the winner of the said segment, that podcaster receives a selection of goodies for that podcaster and to give away on the podcast. So it's super exciting. So I wanted to say thank you mainly, not just for adding me into the jar, because she said some really lovely things as well, and she said that she'd been watching me for a while, so that's really sweet. So hiya Barbara, thank you so much. You're too kind. And basically the Into the Jar segment is to say thank you to all the podcasters that sit around making all this crazy knitting entertainment, which is really cool. The next thank you I want to throw out there is to a couple of podcast friends and podcast viewer friends. You'll know who you are. They sent me a couple of things in the post over the past couple of weeks they sent me some neutral minis to go in my scrappy socks, which was a total surprise and really exciting, and I wanted to thank them for their kindness, and I'm really excited because now I can finish my scrappy socks, which is totally cool. So thank you so much. You are angels watching over me. And the next thank you I want to give is to all the donators that donated prizes to my I Heart Bees KAL, which has currently just ended, and I will be drawing prizes at the end of the episode. But I really wanted to say thank you, because without you I would have been struggling, and you guys have really helped me out, and it is so kind that you have offered to donate some of your wares to the podcast, and I really do appreciate it, and so do the viewers, I hope. So I wanted to say a really big thank you. It means a lot to me. And if you are also interested in donators of the knit along and other podcast episodes, I have now got a link on the Ravelry Group main foyer of the Killtocraft Podcast Group, which is donators of the podcast, and I have listed them and links to their shops. So if you're struggling on shopping inspiration, it's like the perfect page to step into. And I will keep adding all the lovely donators that I've given to me at some point, to share the love, basically. Anyway, thank you guys. So, the next thing in group news, we've got a new knit along, which is super exciting, and you've probably heard me gushing on about it in the last episode, and I think Twee of the Twisted Stitches podcast has also mentioned it in her episodes because we are co-hosting together. Yay! Basically, it's the Harvest Hat along 2016. Harvest hats. So basically, I want you to harvest plenty of hats this autumn, and by doing so, you can join in our KAL. The rules are simple. I'd prefer it if it was no whips, please. We've decided that the knit along is long enough. It starts 1st of September through to the 15th of November, and it is long enough to not need to add works in progress to the knit along. You can start something fresh and finish something easily within 2 months and a half, so therefore we've said no whips allowed. You can have an entry per each, I'm going to explain this better. Each adult hat that you make and put in the FO thread equals to 1 entry. However, if you knit babies or children's hats, they equal 2 hats per entry. So you need to make 2 child's hats or baby's hats to equal 1. So the rules are pretty simple. But I'm super excited, and I've already got a prize for my FO thread, and the whole premise is that you can double dip. You can go over to the Twisted Stitches podcast group, and they have their chatter threads and FO threads already up and running, so you can go over there and post your FOs into both groups. We are super excited about this. Me and Twee have been planning plenty of hats, and I have already made 2 before the knit along has even started, and I am still giddy about making more. I think I've got another 2-3 hats that I really truly want to make, and then there's a few that I'd like to make for Will as well. Exciting. So we already have a prize, which I will share with you a little bit later in what the postman has brought. And yeah, come over to the Ravelry group and join in. Share your whips, your yarns, your idea projects, everything. Come join in. Harvest some hats this autumn. Anyway, next up is FOs. So, in my FOs, I have been knitting some hats. We went camping last weekend, and I decided to take a couple of hat projects and some other projects which I didn't end up starting to knit because, hey, I took too much knitting. I thought I was going to do more. I don't know why. Foolish. But this is one of them. This is a conversationalist hat by the Plucky Knitter. I've already done one previously, which is this one. It's a hat already, but I still need to add a pom-pom at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. So you've seen this hat plenty of times because I showed you the other one. Really cozy, really nice. Love it. I did it in the Drops Lima, which is a DK weight yarn, and it's wool and alpaca blend. Really quite a thick DK. It's really quite squishy, it's warm, it's cozy. I wore it, I didn't think it was itchy, but I think it will definitely keep you warm and last for a really long time. And the other hat that sorry. The other hat that I made is the oak crest. I'm bringing it in slowly, mainly because it's throwing out the camera light. This is a pattern from Pom Pom, Autumn 2015. It's a design by Maisie Howarth, and it's awesome, and I'm really loving it. And I knitted this out of Quint & Co's Lark in their Goldfinch colourway, and I made a rookie error with the pattern because I packed my 3.75mm needles for the edging, and I packed the wrong needle for the main knitting. I packed a 4.5mm instead of a 5, and didn't realise until I finished the hat. Whoops. So my hat is a little bit shorter, but the width seems actually quite fine. So I'm not too worried. It fits. I'm perfectly happy with the fact that it fits, and it's nice. It's not overly ample. But don't make the same mistake as me. I knitted the medium size, and I have got 48 grams left of my second ball because I used the wrong needle size, so I only slightly went into this. However, I recently saw a pattern in the newest issue of Pom Pom Quarterly, which is the Turian mittens, which are these lovely things. And I was thinking that these, alongside with in this yarn, would be perfect to go with this hat because it's still got some twisty cabley pattern on it. And the first size, which is a small size, which is an 18cm hand circumference, which I have, which is around this bit of your hand, basically this section here, you measure around. Because I am 18 centimetres, I figured I can knit small size, and other people have been putting on that they've only used about 110 metres. I've got roughly about 116 left in this bad boy, so I should definitely be able to make a set of these mittens. So that's super exciting. So that's my next plan. It's not a hat for the Hat Cal, but it's a new project that I'm going to be starting. I'm super excited. Then the next segment is whips. I don't have like tons to share in whips this week, because mainly the two things that I've been working on this past couple of weeks I casted off, and then the other things I've been working on like mental to get these done, and I'm still nowhere near finished. So my I Heart Bees socks I didn't complete in time for my own knit along. It's the first time I haven't. I don't feel ashamed. I've already knit these ones, so that's cool with me. I can take my time. So these are my Honeycomb Socks, knitted in some posh yarns, and this is some gold stellina based yarn. This is like a true looking colour of the yarn. Every time I bring it up it kind of dissipate the colour of it, if that's the word. Anyway, so I've gotten this far. I'm at the end of the gusset section on this one, and I'm still part way through the gusset on the other. In fact, I only just started it pretty much, and I'm super loving them. You may be able to see that there is a difference in the honeycombs. It is, to me, very apparent that this one is more defined and stands out tons more than this one, the pattern on them. Can you see that? Anyway, the reason for this is because I wanted to test out some different needles, which I've never used before. And I thought it'd be fun to see the differences in my original needles that I have been using plenty, which are my Knit Pro Zings, and these are fairly rounded tips. If you see there, that one's pretty rounded. This one looks a little bit more sharp, but they are definitely quite rounded tips. And I really love those. Those are my staple needles that I tend to use all of the time. However, for this one, I decided to use some Addi Colibri, I think it's called, Calibri yarns. These are them. They are in different colours, and one end, which I have been knitting with, is really quite sharp, and the other one is really rounded, as you can see the other end on this one. So one's very quite pointed and one's very quite rounded, pointed, rounded. So these are really interesting. So I've been knitting with the pointed end and then not using the rounded end, and they have, the pattern on these are so much more defined than these ones. I can just, they have made the stitch pattern almost jump out of the fabric so much better than the Knit Pro Zings, which is really strange. And I've been thinking that maybe I might get another set of these for future if I'm ever doing cabled socks or pattern socks, because I think that obviously they will make my patterns stand out and look more true and amazing. So as a review of the Addi needles, I would probably give these, out of 5, I would probably give them a 4. They are a lightweight aluminium, I believe. So they aren't like the other Addis where the coating comes off and they go all smelly and disgusting, because I've had some of their lace needles that do that and it put me off big time. These don't do that, and they are lightweight aluminium, but I would say that they are a little bit more weighted, ever so slightly more than the Knit Pro Zings, but they do measure the same on a gauge thing. I checked just to make sure, because I thought that this was really odd how defined it was coming out in comparison to these ones. It just seemed really weird to me. They just stand out so much more neater and more well formed, and I am knitting these at the same time. Well, sequentially. I'm knitting a portion on this and a portion on this, so I'm knitting them in a sequence rather than side by side. But it's still strange. But anyway, these needles are awesomely strange and I love them, so I might have to get another set to give them a bit more of a go. I wouldn't say that the sharp end is like maybe higher sharp, but they are sharper than the Zings, and I do find that going into the stitches it is a lot easier. So maybe if you like sharp needles, you should get a set and give them a try. Definitely worth it, I think, for textured, patterned, cabled sock knitting. So that's my review for those, and I will get those finished at some point soon because I really need to catch up on my box of socks. My box is dwindling, guys. I am so far behind on my sock knitting. I want to be ahead of the game and I am totally not. And I'm keeping that in my awesome bag from Emma of Eldenwood Crafts. This is one of the bags that is one of the giveaway prizes for the I Heart Bees KAL, which I will be giving away at the end of the podcast episode. How cute is that? The fabric is absolutely awesome and it stays upright so well. and it's a lovely size for socks. I have to say, I love carrying this around. And I had compliments on it today as well at work, which was really sweet. So the next thing I've been trying to work on a little bit. I haven't worked on it this past week, I don't think. These are my scrappy socks. I haven't done any on my bright sock, that is still at the same point, but I have been sewing in some of my ends. Only got a few left to sew in, and I can start the foot of the sock, so that's super exciting. And one of my podcast viewer friends sent me some of this, which is some of her sock yarn that she used in her I Heart Bees socks, which is super sweet. So I've added those into my scrappy socks already. There it is. It's in there, doing its little thing. And then another friend also kindly sent me a selection of neutrals in these little organza bags, which is super sweet. And she sent me, you sent me tons. I was only expecting like maybe about 4 or 5, because I haven't got a considerable amount left to do. I think I've got a few more centimetres, and then I'm onto the toe for this, which is awesome. So then I can get that done, start on the other one a bit more. But I'm thinking I could hoard some of these away, and I could make another neutral sock at some point in the future and hoard more neutrals away if I can. So those won't be this year, but maybe next year. Might do another pair. But these are lovely. And she's even written like little tags with the names of the yarns on. Some of them I haven't even knitted with before, so that's really exciting to me. And your writing is super neat and small. It's lovely. I love looking at it. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to have these finished. I'm hoping that I might be able to have them done for Yarndale so that I could possibly wear them if it's a cool day, but we'll see. I think they're like the perfect socks to wear at a knitting festival because they're so scrappy and fun. So next segment is future whips, which I have got a couple of things that I really want to cast on. I bought some of the, if you remember last Christmas, Opal did some yarn called Opal Happy, which was in a series of colours, and it had a stellina thread in the yarn, so it shined and sparkled. And one of those colours I've all year been trying to find because everywhere is out of stock because it was a limited run and I couldn't find any. And lo and behold, before, like maybe last week or the week before, I found an online store that had started stocking an online shop. They'd got a normal store, they started an online shop, and they had some in, and I got to buy some. So I really want to cast those on. Those are a pair of socks I really want to do. I think I'll just do them as vanilla socks, but I'm really excited about them because I love this yarn so much, and I thought I wasn't going to get any. Nobody is destashing it because it is that nice. So there's plenty of things that I really want to cast on at the minute. The next thing is the Angelus Novus cardigan, which I've got yarn already ready, and the Turian mittens, the Fleece and Sea hat, which I mentioned earlier, and also the Pearl Cottage socks, which I believe are by Orange Knits. It's one of her latest sock designs, which I love her designs. They are totally me. I love all the brightness and the funky patterns, and I still haven't casted on any, and I've got them all. I've got all of her patterns. What is wrong with me? So I plan to cast on a pair of those at some point really soon. So I've got tons that I need to cast on and so little time. Is that always the way? But holidays are coming up. Hopefully I'll be able to cast on tons of stuff. So we'll see. Next thing I have to share with you is something that the postman brought for me this week, which was a lovely treat from the ever so talented Claire of Bird Street UK, which is what she's called on Instagram. And she has an Etsy shop also called birdstreetuk.etsy.com. Go and check her out. She's awesome. And I've been following her for maybe a few weeks now. She makes some gorgeous bags. And she kindly offered one to me and to the knit along, the Harvest hat along. So she's sent me one, and she sent an identical one for the knit along, and it's this gorgeous vintage camera fabric. Look how gorgeous this bag is. It's really sturdy. It's quite a large bag. I'd say you'd be able to get a decent sized project in here easily. It's got a lovely leather trinket on the zipper, and mine has a little bee on. I believe these are all in different colours, and they have different they're almost like stitch markers, but I'm gonna leave it on. It's a trinket really. It's really good quality fabrics, really sturdy, really spacious when you get inside, which is also another thing that I love about the project bag. Look at all that room. So these, I can fit two 100 gram, these are, balls in the base of this bag, cakes, and there's still plenty of room for a project, maybe even another cake in there, easily, and two very ample pockets for, you see those? For needles and notions, which are sat just here. If I hold the bag like that, you can see how deep those pockets are, because the white area is the bottom of the pockets. But yeah, and they're really ample too, and I love the lining. She's gone to some lovely effort to add in the white fabric and also add like a polka dot edging to the pocket. I think that's really sweet. She's got some really nice attention to detail in this bag, and really nice quality as well, and the size is just remarkably lovely. She does, I think, 3 different sizes. She does a small, a medium and a large bag. I'm assuming this is her large bags, but I know that she's going to have some more of these in her shop if you are really wanting one, because I'm not kidding guys, this is super nice. And she sent me one personally to do a review and test run, which was really sweet. So overall, the review in the making and the fabrics and the quality of the bag, I think is top notch. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is top notch. You want my full opinion? This is a lovely, gorgeous, well-made bag. And to get my full review, I think I'm gonna have to cast something on and totally use the bag for what it's intended. So next episode you will see me using the bag, and I will hopefully give you a full review, which is how much I love it, because I do right now. So go and check out her Etsy shop, and I will put the information just below and in all the show notes. So thank you, Claire, because I absolutely adore the bag. It's amazing. You'll see me with this plenty in future. And then I'm going to skip on to podcasters that I watch, while also moving some wool that's next to me, because I'm scared the cat is going to try and eat it, and it's one of the prizes. He's lurking. Meh. Anyway, podcasters I've been watching. I have totally been loving Stitched in Sweden recently. She's come back, Maria of Stitched in Sweden. Hi Maria. I used to watch her anyway, and over the summer she'd been away visiting family and friends over in the United States, and she's back, but she's back even more talented than before because she started making her own bras, and I'm sure plenty of other podcasters have mentioned this, but she has been super inspiring all of the ladies everywhere into wanting to make their own undies, basically lingerie. I've had a book in my stash for quite a while on sewing your own lingerie, which is this one, The Secrets of Sewing Lingerie. It's a lovely book. It's got an envelope with all the patterns in the back, and it's a lovely book full with tips on how to do things, as well as patterns which develop your skills as you go through. I believe to start in properly you have to start with the prettiest picnic cotton mini pants, which are these bad boys. And I'm thinking, because I haven't got much skills in making lingerie, I might just start from the beginning of the book and work through. So that's starting with knickers and thongs and briefs. I particularly like these because this like lacy, is it toile fabric or whatever it is? Tulle? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Tulle. It's actually got embroidered polka dots on there. So with a hoop and embroidery silks, she's embroidered the polka dots on. I think that's really cute, and I could use that in bras and things as well. You just seen who's jumped up. Hey, hey, hey. Look up. Hi, mate. I don't know what he's intending on doing, but he nearly scared the life out of me. But she's got me really wanting to make bras, but I think essentially I'm going to start at the beginning of the book because making bras is quite scary. And also bra kits are really hard to find here in the UK, so we'll see how that goes. I've noticed that there's a lot of like PDF patterns online. I don't have my own printer. I am not going to start printing out bra patterns at work, so I don't know. The only other thing is maybe seeing if I could get them printed at Staples or just purchase a printer. I might have to just, yeah, I might just have to do that anyway. Sorry, it's super distracting. Is he not? He's licking the blanket on the chair, so I've got like a licky noise in my ear. Very distracting. I'm only letting him stay there because I know you guys love cat fodder, just so you know that. He's a monkey though, he will terrorise me. Oh god. The next podcaster that I've been watching recently is Cassie. I think it's Mura's. Cassie Mura's, is it? Is it Mura? Oh my god, tell me if I'm saying it wrong. I know you probably watch me in the podcast. It's Cassie Mura's Creative Musings podcast, and she is super sweet. If you have not watched, she is really entertaining, really nice and likeable and warm, and her projects are just beautiful. I know that I think it was Candice of Pin, Tethers and Pearls has also mentioned her, and recently, I think it was yesterday, Molly posted something on her Instagram about Casey. Is it Casey or Cassie? Actually, that's a good question. Let me know. But anyway, she has an amazing podcast. You should totally check her out. The next podcast that I've also been watching is Stringing It Together with Becky, and she's also another lovely podcaster, but I think at the minute she's moving to Germany, and so she won't be posting an episode for a little while, but there is a good few, I'd say a good 5 episodes that you can totally catch up on, and she makes some really nice things as well. I've been watching quite a few new podcasts recently. Another podcaster that I've been watching for a little while but I haven't mentioned is Annie of the Petite Weaver Crafts podcast. She's also on YouTube, and her episodes are not only super creative and she's super talented, but they are also quite small sized episodes, so you can get through them quite quickly, but they are nice to watch if you've got a spare 15 minutes before you're doing something or plan to do something. Then I'd say Annie's podcast is totally one for you. Just, you can jump in and watch loads of them. Gosh, I think I probably babbled on enough, possibly for this episode. I'd like to get on to the giveaway for the I Heart Bees KAL. So the first prize is to be drawn from the FO thread. Sorry, just waving at the screen again. It's to be drawn from the FO thread. I've already drawn the prize winner before I started the episode. We had 14 full finished entries into the knit along. I think there's possibly 60 projects for the pattern on the go, I noticed on Ravelry, but 14 full entries in the finished objects thread, and the winner was post 5, which is JWJ38, and she made some gorgeous I Heart Bees socks. They are very autumnal. They are almost like in a really subtle terracotta-y kind of pumpkin kind of colour, and she used like a charcoal grey black toe on her socks. You should go and check them out, they're absolutely gorgeous. So I think that's really nice because it's kind of like autumn socks for the beginning of September, for the end of the KAL. So you win the lovely bag, which is wrapped neatly, the lovely bag from Emma of Elvenwood Crafts, which is identical to my bees bag. You also win a bees notebook, and you also win this gorgeous skein of yarn. This is Sweet Orchid sock base, 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, 400 meters, 100 grams, and this is from Libby's on Etsy. We also have still available a coupon code for Libby's yarns for the podcast viewers, so if any of you would like to treat yourself to a skein of this or any of her other colourways, I think her coupon code ends at towards the end of September, and I will make sure it's in the show notes for anybody that's interested. So JWJ38, you have won the Finished Objects Thread prize. Congratulations, super exciting. And the winner of the Chatter Thread prize, because I really wanted to encourage chatter in the knit along, which I'll also be doing the same in the Harvest Hat along. There's still plenty of chatter going on in there anyway. It's insane, all of the hats and things, it's going on, everybody's getting excited. So from the chat thread I decided to pull the pattern prize, which was donated to us from Agatha, and the winner of that was number 23, which is Bubby's Mum 77. So if both winners could get in touch with me, and I will, for the FO thread, I will need your JWJ38, I will need your address, shipping address, to send the prizes to you. And Bubby's Mum 77, who's won, congratulations. I will just send me a little notification email and I will get your name sent to Agatha, and also let me know the pattern you would wish to be gifted. I think the prize was any pattern of your choice from Agatha's shop, and I will put her shop also in the show notes so you can have a little nosy. So thank you to everybody who joined in that knit along. It was super great, and you all were so supportive of my re-release of the I Heart Bees pattern, and I'm really excited. I'm thinking I might do another pattern at some point in the near future, but we'll see how it goes. we'll see first. But the support that I got was really great, and I thank you all for being so kind and for being so helpful, either in test knitting or joining the knit along, finishing your socks, and just partaking in general. It was really great, and sharing as well, sharing my sock pattern. Plenty of you did, and that was really wonderful, so thanks. Thank you. Big stars you are, all of you. So I think that's it for the end of the episode. In fact, this says it all. This came on my on Bird Street UK's bag. There you go. But this says it all. Many thanks. Thank you, everybody. So until next time, you all need to join in the hat knit along. No, I'm only kidding. No pressure. So I'd love to see you joining in the hat knit along and chattering to you all about what hats you like, or ones that may be your favourites that you've knitted previously. Just generalised conversing over there and creating. Come on over. Come on. Please join in, and I will see you next episode. Thank you. Bye.